Okay, so the next thing we're going to look at is balancing in acidic conditions. And when you're going to balance in acidic conditions, there's a series of steps that we're going to have to follow. So let me just grab this pen here, and our steps are what's written out here. You want to first write half reactions, then balance anything that's not oxygen or hydrogen, and then you balance oxygen by adding in water, and then there should be our next step, you balance hydrogens by adding in the ions, and the last step is balancing electrons. So let's take a look at an example of balancing in acidic conditions. So here we're not predicting, but we're coming up with the complete balanced equation. So first we want to see what's related to each other, and that will let us have our half reactions. So we have MnO4 negative, AQ, and that's turning into Mn2 positive. The other half reaction will be about silver, and that is turning into the silver ion. So from here, your first thing you want to do is balance anything other than oxygen or hydrogen. We have one Mn on each side, so we can move on. The next step is to add in water to balance out the oxygen. So you have 4 oxygen on the left, so we'll add in 4 water molecules on the right. Now adding in water introduces hydrogen, so we want to balance that out by adding in 8 hydrogen molecules on the left. And lastly, you balance your charges. So when I take a look at my net charge, on the left-hand side, I have 8 positive and 1 negative. So I have a net charge of positive 7. On the right-hand side, I have this positive 2, and then water's neutral, so no charge. So I have a net charge of positive 2. So I can only add in electrons. So I am going to add in, I believe it's 5 electrons to the left-hand side, so that when I add this to my 7, so I'd have minus 5, gives me my net charge of positive 2, which I needed. Now, the first half reaction's done. Taking a look at the second half reaction, I have silver. I don't need to add in any water or hydrogen because there's nothing present, so I can skip right to adding in my electron. Now from here, it's like what we did when we were predicting. Once you have your 2 half reactions, then you can add them together only when your electrons are balanced. So we'll have to multiply that second reaction by 5, and then you can add them together. So collect all your reactants on the reactant side, and moving on to the second half reaction. And then collecting all your products. I'm just going to write it a bit lower since I'm running out of space here. Liquid, and then plus your 5 silver ions, and plus your 5 electrons, because we would have been distributing that 5 through. So that is our balanced equation. Before we're completely done, you do want to cross out anything that occurs on both sides. So the electrons should be the same, and then the other ones to look out for usually are hydrogen ions and water. But this is all balanced, so now you're done, and that is balancing in acidic conditions. I hope this helps.